What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The David Lopez Show, presented by Passion Park ENT. I want to say what's up to everybody on the live. We are doing the IG live thing as we always have for the past couple weeks. We're trying to get back to it. So what's up, everybody out there? Hope you guys are all doing well. I hope everybody is making the time go by and doing their thing and finding some things to watch. I know I had some fun stuff to watch this weekend. I'm gonna talk about that a little bit. So let's get into it. Let's do it, baby. As always, I'm just gonna start up top with some notes, some ads. If you guys are interested in learning about my music, catching up on any of that stuff, I just dropped a brand new song yesterday, actually. Go to www.thedavidlopez.com. All my music, I was gonna say show dates, but no live show dates right now. We're going to do some like live concerts, live stream shows. I want to make some more of those happen. So I'm going to do that. If you want to learn any bit more about our short films, just like our YouTube channel, all that stuff, go to passionparkent.com. All that stuff is right up there, right up top, constantly releasing new stuff, new podcasts, new series, new web series. I have literally been doing like 4 to 5 brand new videos every week. So if you follow our YouTube channel, you will get new content every week. youtube.com/DavidLopez/PassionPark. That's where you got all our stuff. We got a brand new series called Happy Hour Live, which is literally just a happy hour. It's like a 20-minute episode. I make a cocktail or hang out, play a drink or play a game with some friends. I'm just trying to make it a fun little like happy hour section. Right now we got 3 episodes out. I'm editing the 4th and we'll be filming 2 more this week. We'll probably do like 10 episodes for the first season, something like that. And then, if people enjoy it, maybe we'll bring it back. It's also just an excuse for me to make a new cocktail at home, rather than just like have a beer at home. It's an excuse for me to make something that tastes good and do stuff like that. And hopefully you guys are getting something from that, having a little fun. The episode that I'm editing right now was my friend Frankie, who, shout out to him. Happy birthday. It's his birthday today. We played beer pong / flip cup / tic-tac-toe. So like we did that all in once. We saw it on Facebook and then we were like, fuck it, let's try it. So we did that virtually. So I'm trying to edit that because there's a lot of moving pieces to that, but I want to edit it in a way where you guys can at least have some fun with us and see how that went. He whooped my ass in that game, no lie. He really did. And then so I just dropped a new song yesterday, like I mentioned. I'm going to talk about that in a second, but before that, I just want to mention, I've been mentioning this all month, but I have to mention it this week because my episode comes out Thursday. My friend Mark Morgan, who's been on the show, he has a show on TikTok that's called The World Premiere. It's at The World Premiere. Or the WP, but the handle is at The World Premiere on TikTok. They interview artists like briefly, and then they you perform a song really briefly. They're minute-long episodes. My episode comes out this Thursday, the 23rd, and I'm excited about it. I play a pretty fun song. I hope you guys enjoy it, but make sure you check that out because I don't know, I gotta blow it up. I gotta get more people to be listening to my shit, so I'm hoping that this TikTok episode will do something for that. But yeah, so. You know what? I'm going to talk about the new song that I just dropped, which is called Free My Mind, and it came out yesterday, 420. That is the reason that it came out yesterday at 420. But I'm going to talk about that as I get into the show. So I'm going to play the intro, and we're just going to get into it right away.
David Lopez is the name. It's my show. Welcome to it.
Boom, boom, boom. All right, so normally the song up top, I would, use that in my ads, and I went through those ads in like 3 minutes, flew through them today. But normally I would talk about that new song right in the ads, just be like, go listen to it. And that is what I'm going to say here too. But I also want to, I'm going to talk about it for a quick minute because I feel like some artists maybe can relate to this feeling and what's not. Yeah. So drop a song yesterday. I honestly, it's a song from 2013. I wrote this on my Instagram. I reworked it completely. Like I re-recorded the whole thing. I mean, I kept the hook. The hook is the same words, but I changed a lot of the effects. Obviously the master is different. Like, everything. Try to update some of my old songs. I just wanted to see if I could give it some new life. And I really think I did. I really think I made it significantly better. It's cool hearing some of my old shit and just like nitpicking and taking the good parts, or at least that's what I tried to do. Take the parts that I liked, combining them. I'm going to break down the full song probably Thursday and like literally go through the parts and just be like, yo, this was from this verse. This was from this verse. I just chopped it up, put it together because that is what I did with that song, which was really cool. But anyways, what I wanted to say was like, as an artist like me who's not that big, I'm not big at all. I mean, I don't really have a big fan base. I mean, thank you to everybody who hops on the Instagram live or on the podcast or comments. Like, shout out to all you guys. Shout out to anybody who listens to my music for sure. Like, that means the world to me. But obviously, I'm not like a huge artist. I totally get it. So I'm not even like tripping on that. But like, I'm always excited to release music, right? And I'm sure a lot of people are. Like, I got a bunch of friends who are artists who release songs and stuff, and it's an exciting thing to release a song that you've been working on for a long time. It's also can be nerve wracking because people are gonna finally hear some shit that you worked on by yourself. Especially me, like I feel like I do a lot of stuff by myself. I mix a lot of shit, master a lot of shit, and just like nobody gets to hear the shit until I send it to a friend who hears it and tells me whether or not they like it or something like that. So I mean, getting less input on it than you just release it into the world, it's a weird feeling. You don't really know what it's gonna be like. So I'm always excited to release stuff. But now that I've released a lot of music throughout these years, I've noticed a trend in myself, and I think I talked briefly about it last week. Is like, your song doesn't blow up right when you drop it. You can't be like all depressed about it and just stop or forget about how good or how much you believed in that song when you recorded it. But like, I also just want to be honest about it and just like see how, if anybody else can relate to this, like the underwhelming feeling of then seeing the streams the next day or just seeing the actual numbers on it. Like a lot of times after I release music, like the next day is like a kind of depressing day, or even like, you know what I mean? Like, and I don't even mean it to be like that. I'm not trying to whine or complain, but like it is naturally. It's just expectations. Like I could do whatever. I could try to just avoid thinking about it all day or whatever. And then the next day you look at it and you're like, man, I wish I had more reaction. I wish I had more. It's something about our brains that are like, I only see the negative number. I don't see like the 4 people who told me like, oh, I liked it or whatever. Well, I do. I mean, I'm trying to. I've tried to train my brain to see that better. But I just want to be honest. Like, it's like I released a song yesterday, did not do nearly, not what I thought. Like, I didn't think it was gonna do crazy. I literally submitted it on Saturday. I mean, it's like I always do this shit. Like, I finished the song Saturday, submitted the next fucking day, and just turned it in because I just wanted to get a song out for 420. And it doesn't do the numbers. Like, people ain't listening. Like, it's whatever. It's whatever. It is whatever. But I can't help but in my head think about it and be like, fuck. So that being said, I want to go back to what I said last week. If you believed in it when you made it, don't forget about that. And just, I got to keep trying to get people to listen to my songs. The tough thing is, I got to be honest, I was planning on releasing an EP like really soon, like this week, maybe next week kind of shit, like real soon. I mean, all right, completely honestly, I was planning on releasing an EP this week. Like I had it all lined up. I mean, I have, everything set up, but I changed the date because I was like a little hesitant. I just didn't put the date. And then like I dropped a song and like, it doesn't get the plays that it gets. And so now I gotta double think in my head, like, well, should I just be dropping an EP? Like, because you want people to listen to your music. You know what I'm saying? Like you definitely want people. I mean, like I try to say this, like, I'm not making music specifically only because I needed to blow up. You know what I mean? I think most people, if you've heard me before, that like it matters to me. It's very emotional to me. Like it's like a therapy to me. So like, it's almost like I do music for myself, but at the same time, like you want people to listen to your music, and it's not that there's no point. It's just that like that is part of the points, is that to have people hear your art and stuff like that. So I gotta, the old saying about like, insanity is doing the same thing consistently and expecting different results. Like that's insanity. You know what I mean? And I just keep doing it, but I want the product to be better. I've been trying to live by that quote of be undeniable, make the work undeniably good, and then people will listen. And that's the hope. But that philosophy can drive you crazy too, because it's like, it's not good enough yet. It's not good enough. It's not gonna. But whatever. The whole point is I got to explore different ways to release stuff, different ways to get stuff out to you guys, different ways to do that stuff. And it's a mental hurdle that you got to jump through yourself as well. So I'm trying to do that. I just wanted to talk about it real quickly because I just felt like it would be dishonest of me to hop on here at 10 a.m. after I woke up at 7 a.m. and just lie and be like, oh, I've been extremely happy. It felt great all morning. Like, nah, man, like the truth is sometimes you see the shit and you're just like, man, wish more people heard it or whatever. But that's just how the shit goes, guys. That's how the shit goes when you're at this kind of level and you're trying to get better and you're trying to get new fans and you're trying to improve. And I'm gonna keep doing that. I just wanted to share that with you guys, just so you guys, I just want to be transparent. Like, to be completely honest, that is the least streamed song I've ever had in a 24-hour span. Like, as far as seeing, because I have Spotify for artists or Apple for artists, you can see all that. Yeah, definitely. And it is what it is. I mean, it's probably because I turned it in late and all that stuff. But I just want to, express that to you guys so transparency from me, like, that's how shit goes, and it is what it is. But I'm still gonna keep releasing shit. I'm gonna figure out a new date for this EP and decide when to release that. So I'll be working on that. So stay tuned for that. I'm excited. Like I said, everything's done for that. All the songs are done for it. The cover art's done for it. Although I don't know. I never know when the mixer masters, like, I think they're good. I like to like them to mine, and then I send them to the producer, and he's like, yo, let me clean it up. Let me do all this shit. And while I understand cleaning it up and doing all that shit, I never know if you're really mean it or if you're just trying to make an extra buck. So that shit bothers me. But I can't, in this industry, it's so hard to try. I don't know. I've been doing this music and dealing with some people for, years and years and years. And you do get really jaded and like start to lose trust in people. And you think everybody's just trying to hustle you for $1. And I'm not lying. I feel that way completely. Like, for the most part, like, I buy beats and music from people that I respect and like. But I also got to remember in my head, like, yo, they're just hustling and trying to make money and shit. So like, they might say they don't like the mix or master. They don't like it to how they like their shit. Like, if you're comfortable with it and you're comfortable releasing it and you think it's good quality, you'll probably be happier doing it that way, and you'll have more longevity because you have more budget to spend on other shit. I don't know. That's how I've been looking at shit lately. I don't know if that's accurate or not. Clearly it's not. I got to put that money towards marketing or some shit like that. But it's an interesting process. I just felt like venting on that. So yeah, I want to do that real quick. I want to talk about all that shit. I wanted to say, please go listen to my new song. It's called Free My Mind. It's produced by Kato, who is a guy. He produced Champ. He's a dude that I used to work with all the time back in my mixtape days, like in 2012, 2013, 2014. But lately I haven't kept up with him as much, but I messaged him about this song and he was like, yeah, I'm trying to get back into it. So I'm hoping we get some more work together. So shout out to Kato on that. But that's all that's some of that music stuff and shit up front. Woo! Let's get into some sports stuff. Let's get into the fun stuff. Let's get into what I want to talk about. What a great weekend it was as far as this quarantine goes, because finally we had something sports related to really watch and to really take our minds off all of this shit. And that is The Last Dance finally premiered. Well, the first 2 episodes did on Sunday night. At least took our minds off of everything for 2 hours, so that was phenomenal. I've been talking about it all month, really. Since the quarantine started, it was like they need to push this shit up, and they did, which is awesome. Super exciting, especially as a Bulls fan, as somebody who grew up in Chicago and grew up during the 90s with these Bulls teams. It was just awesome to watch and to relive it, especially because I was so young. I mean, I was born in 1990. I was so young when all this shit was happening. Like, I remember, I've talked about it before. I went to the 4th rally, the 5th rally. They show clips from the 5th rally in Sunday night, and like my brother was like, oh yeah, we were there. Like, I have some of these memories, but I don't have all the vivid memories of like Jordan, of all his playing. I've seen all these highlights because we have all the VHS tapes at home. So I got to see all that stuff. But actually getting to watch this footage is awesome. It was really cool. I'm sure you guys have heard breakdowns about it. If you listen to sports radio like me, I've heard a bunch of people recap it. I've been talking about it with other friends. I just want to briefly highlight some of the highlights that I want to talk about, or that stuck out to me. If anybody who's on the IG Live wants to, has any notes about Sunday night, or any notes about The Last Dance in general, or anything you want to talk about, just let me know. Hop on there, and I'll incorporate you guys. You know what I mean? So what's up to all you guys that are on there, first of all? So some of the things that I want to talk about real quick is just like, you notice like the competitive nature. I mean, that's kind of like how the feeling you get after it is like, man, like let's go fucking play some ball. Let's go win some games or some shit. Cause it makes you like, it's just watching Mike talk about how competitive he is and how he feels about winning and how he felt about when people weren't giving their all and doing their thing. Like how he felt about that shit makes you be like, God damn, you better step your fucking game up. Like, so that was cool. I mean, like, what I heard the director from The Last Dance talk on Waddle and Sylvie here, ESPN Chicago. I heard him talk yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. And the cool thing that I guess I didn't really piece together, this is what's cool when the director has, his vision and his mindset, and obviously like there's goals for episodes and like the metaphors and the stories that you're trying to tell and the way you're trying to put it. What he did, and I didn't even put it together, which was so cool. He said it was one of the biggest points for him for that first episode was, he wanted to show the two ways that these two superstars handled trying to get back at the front office. So the front office, if you guys don't know, if you guys didn't watch any of the front office of the Bulls and the players, the superstars, particularly Jordan and Pippen, had high tension, right? That shit was just like, the tension was real hot. But the way they handled the tension is so significant in how their makeups are and how basically how they are perceived in in sports. Mike, when he's mad at front office for not letting him play when he got hurt in that second season back in the 80s, he was pissed off at them, and he's pissed off at front office because they won't let him play. He said he's 90% healthy, but that 10% is too big of a risk. They won't let him play, and he's just like fucking pissed. Like, what the hell? So he ends up going to North Carolina, where he went, playing pickup games, trying to get back in shape, and do all that without telling them. And then so his plan to get back at management was literally to play as much as he could and to win games, because they wanted to get in the lottery. And it's kind of like, it really brings back a lot of shit that's going on nowadays, like with teams tanking. The Bulls wanted to tank. They wanted to get another lottery pick. Jordan was hurt for the year. They're like, fuck it, the season's a wash. We're not going to win it all. Just let's tank, which is what a lot of front office teams would do. It frankly isn't the wrong strategy right now. But Jordan, as somebody who is such a competitor and such a winner and has the right attitude, a compulsion to win and can't lose, his strategy was fuck you guys, to get back at management. You're not supposed to try to lose games. I'm going to win every game and we're going to make the playoffs and you're not going to get a lottery pick. And he did that, and they won. I mean, that clip where where they had to take him out for a minute restriction and then John Paxson hits a game winner, vintage stuff. I didn't know that story. It's awesome to see that. And Jordan cheers for Paxson when he hits the game-winning shot. He doesn't give a shit. I'm sure he gave a shit, but he's not yelling because they took him out of the game. He's like, we won. Paxson just saved the day. And you see him pick him up and go crazy. So, like, that's a cool thing, right? But Jordan's way to get back at management was, we're going to win more games. Screw you. Now, fast forward to 97 when Pippen has Pippen and Krause have this huge falling out. Jared Krause is the new Carol Baskin, as everybody's been saying. He was really portrayed very negatively in those first two episodes. And frankly, most people would agree with a lot of that stuff. I mean, yeah. I mean, look, I think in the next couple episodes, we're going to see Pippen and Jordan shared in a much more negative light, or at least we're going to see some more of the things that they did to kind of provoke what happened here. But Pippen, he did the opposite thing. He waited to have his surgery till after the summer so that he could miss half the season and the Bulls would win less games, knowing that they would still make the playoffs. He had a chance to make the run before he demanded the trade, and he'd have a chance to do all that. But rather than do all that, he decided to skip games and make them lose less games or lose more games. I mean, and Jason Hare, I don't know if I pronounced his last name correct, but the director, he said he really wanted to highlight those two differences in those superstars, is to show you, like, how one superstar handled this and how the other superstar handled this, and it kind of really shows you who they are internally as competitors. I just thought that was really interesting. I thought that was a great. I was happy that I heard his interview, because I'm like, oh man, I didn't even piece that together, that is the reason that he did that and told those stories in that way. That director is great. He's done a lot of the stuff. He's done some 30 for 30s. Yeah, I think he did the Bulls Pistons 30 for 30. And speaking of the Bulls Pistons, that's what they're going to talk about this weekend for 3 and 4. So I thought that was a cool way to do it. I also thought it was interesting. He talked about how they're still editing, like, because they moved this whole project up because of the quarantine and everything. So they're like, we're just going to release episodes every week in April and bump it up. They were going to do it in June. He's still editing episodes like 7, 8, 9, 10. Or at least they were up to now. Yesterday he told me what the fuck? Yesterday he told Waddle and Sylvie in that interview that he was going to, after the interview, he had to go back and do some color correction for those, I think 7, 8 episode. Which is, he said, like, the real difference he could see is because all this footage is old. It's like VHS, all this like stuff is way old. So you can't upload it all and put it into 4K right away. So he said the last process is after all the editing, is uploading it and putting it into 4K. And then it really comes to life and you see it in a new way. And that's super cool. I was just thinking about that as somebody who edits videos and does it myself. Like, when you finally get to that part where it's like you've been doing all this and then you see it come to life in a whole new way because of the vivid colors and the 4K. I mean, it's bringing this old footage to life in a new way that it never had. So I found that pretty interesting. And then 2 more notes on it. First off, the viewing numbers. I was thinking it was going to get like NFL style numbers because it's a Sunday night. There's no sports. It got really good numbers. I think it got 6.1 million viewers during the live. Which is like comparable to, I heard them say it's comparable to like The Bachelor's premiere, which is good, you know what I mean? But like Monday Night Football does like 12 million. So we were all talking about, what's up, Mike Marucci? How we doing, man? Shout out to everybody on the IG Live. We were talking about how they might get NFL numbers, but no. I mean, the difference is with a documentary, you can kind of, you don't necessarily need to watch it live. You can watch it back. It's going to be on Netflix. So I think that's probably part of the difference. And also, not everybody's a huge Bulls fan. Everybody's a Jordan fan, though. Except for these LeBron stans out there. Jordan was getting a lot of hate on Twitter from these LeBron stans, and it's like, what the fuck? These guys are, I don't know what's going on. Although it's probably only 5 guys with 100 LeBron accounts, and they're all just tweeting. And so it's the loud minority, as we all need to remember when people are talking shit. It's usually the loud minority and not the majority. And then finally, when it comes to the Bulls stuff, I just want to mention it because Rodman was on some show this week, and he told a story about how, how about they'd all go clubbing and whatever. But he just briefly told a story about, I can't remember what club he said they were at. But Rodman has his crew in the corner. Pippen has his crew in the corner. Harper has his crew, and I think maybe Kukoc or one other guy. I don't think it was Jordan. It was some other dude. Had his crew in the corner. So all 4 of these superstars from the Bulls have tables at the club with bottles and shit, and they're all sitting in these different corners, and none of them talk to each other the whole night. I just find that so interesting. Like that, none of them were that close of friends, I guess, is what's interesting to find out, because you would think maybe not think necessarily, but you're like, oh, are Jordan and Pippen close friends? Are Rodman and Harper close friends? It sounds like none of them were that close of friends. They worked together. I did hear that Pippen and Harper were kind of good friends. And when I saw them at Bijan's after the 5th rally, and they were together. So I mean, maybe they hung out. But Rodman definitely made it a note, like they didn't really chill like that. They went, won games, and were like superstar celebrities, and then just like we're out, peace. Which I find that's it's pretty interesting. It doesn't feel like teams nowadays are like that. It feels like everybody's got to be friendlier. Back then, it wasn't really that way. They were like more cutthroat, it seems. So that was very interesting. What's up to my main man RPM on the live right there? He just waved at me. It's hard to wave back at people on the IG Live as they're talking while I'm ranting about sports. But anyways, that is kind of what I wanted to talk about for these first 2 episodes of Last Dance. I just thought those were some cool notes. Hopefully that added some context for anybody who didn't hear those interviews that I got to hear, which I thought were cool. And then I wanted to briefly before I get out of here. Actually, there's real quick two sports stories that I thought were funny on ESPN's headlines. First off, Tampa Bay, everybody, a lot of parks are closed down in their cities. A lot of public places are closed down, so you can't do things. In the city of Tampa Bay, Florida, Tom Brady, who just signed to the Buccaneers, was caught at a park that is closed working out. And even like the mayor of Tampa Bay was like, yeah, Tom, we can't. They tweeted at him like, sorry, Brady, you can't be there either. That is hilarious. Tom Brady moves to Tampa Bay, gets his new job, and now everything's shut down. He can't work out, and he breaks the fucking rules and goes to the park when it's closed to work out. I just thought that was really funny because it's Brady, it's Tampa Bay. What he was trying to he's trying to patent all these names for Tampa Bay. It was Tampa Bay. It was, what was the other one? It was Tampa Brady or something. Like he's doing all these ones that are funny. So I don't know what's going on with him, but I just thought I just had to talk about that. And then, Draymond Green, he talked about his reaction to the Last Dance, and he compared it to how the Warriors ended. And the interesting note that I just wanted to make on it was that he really kind of called out Kevin Durant for not talking more, or not making a statement, because Kevin Durant signed this 1-year contract at the end of their run, and everybody kind of knew oh, maybe this is the last run here. Even Steve Kerr said to them enjoy this season. It might be the last run, kind of similar to the Last Dance, what Phil Jackson did. But they never made it clear. The thing about the Bulls was Phil said, all right, this is the Last Dance. Krause said he's not coming back. All this shit, they're not coming back. Kevin Durant signed that 1-year deal and then just left it open. And then Draymond Green and Klay Thompson and all these guys, they said they always had to answer the questions every day. And Draymond Green straight up in this interview is like, yeah, I think Kevin should have came out and said, just made a statement about it right quick. So we wouldn't have to answer all these questions. And then we didn't have this elephant in the room all season. I thought that was he he was saying like he felt like they knew it was coming to a close there, but him making a statement would have helped them a lot. I thought that was interesting. He was just willing to call him out like that. So I don't know I wonder if they're friends, like Draymond and KD. Obviously they had some beef on the court and shit, but I don't know. I mean, they won championships together. So I wonder. I thought that was pretty interesting. All right, that's all my sports stuff. Before I get out of your hair, I want to tell a couple 420 stories here because yesterday was 420. If anybody's got any funny 420 stories, or if you want to just talk about weed, I don't know, hit me up. Just comment below. Yesterday with the quarantine and everything, it's not the same. Obviously, we ain't passing our blunts to each other. We ain't passing our joints to each other, whatever it is. I just got like every year we would always get super baked and go to like a buffet. And just eat excessive amount of food and just fall asleep. Now, this might not be that unique of a story, right? I don't think so. It's not that unique. This is what people just do. You get high, you eat food. It's what a lot of people have done. I'm sure 420 was celebrated that way by a lot of people. But I didn't get to do that yesterday. We got to still eat food. I mean, I still ate food and hung out and saw my friends, like, kind of, but not the same, right? So then I was just asking people like, what's a funny 420 story or whatever, without calling out, saying too much. Fuck it, I'll just say it. My wife told me a hilarious story. I thought about her back in the day as a 420 story, right? So she, maybe I should have blanked her out and said this was somebody else, some other friend. But it's a driver's ed story about when she was in high school. I'll just say it real quick. Basically, it's 420. Take a break. We're all kids. We're in high school. People smoke. People do what they got to do. Weed's been around forever, guys. It's been around for a very long time. This isn't a new thing. So long story short, she gets high and then they have class, right? Now her telling me the story, I'm wondering if the teacher was in on it. It's 420. You got a bunch of high school kids and they're in class, and this is the one day that rather than take the driving test or just read some book shit that they do, they watch Goofy the movie, and it has something to do with driving, but Goofy was the main guy on 420, and I guess like a bunch of the stoners in the class were just rolling, like they couldn't even handle it. And now telling that, to me now, I'm like thinking about it like, yo, that teacher must have been in on it. That teacher must have known, like, be like, fuck it, let's just fuck with these kids. Like, that's what I feel like I would try to do something like that. Because you don't want to take anything too serious, although plenty of teachers do, but that, to me, I wonder, I should ask if that was a younger teacher or what, because that's hilarious. He's like, fuck it, it's 420, we ain't gonna do a test, we just show Goofy the movie. It's so funny to me. And then the other time, talking about eating a lot of food and getting very baked, the other time I want to say, this wasn't 420, but I just feel like I have to mention it because it feels like it was 420 to me, was for my friend's birthday. We went to a Brazilian steakhouse. We went to Fogo de Chao. I mean, for those who don't know, Brazilian steakhouse, they just give you you have the thing on your table. It's either a red thing, it's red or green. It's a card. You turn it over. Red, stop. Green, come on, bring me more fucking meat, right? And I cannot say, and shout out to RPM who's listening right now, gave me the laugh thing. That's the most food I ever ate in my life. Probably the most ever blunts we smoked, like in a rye. Like we smoked so much that night. Yo, my friend fell asleep at the table with a piece of meat in his fork. Like, I can't even. I forgot. That's probably the most food I ever ate in my life. I was like, I think we all fell asleep in the car ride home probably. We were all so full. But I will never forget at the table falling asleep with a piece of meat in his fork. Oh my God. That was so great. So if you ever get a chance, get really high and go to Fogo de Chao. You'll probably fall asleep after. But that's the only way. That's the other thing about that though. I can eat a fair amount of food, but maybe not like a super amount of food. And like, if you're going to go to one of those Brazilian steakhouses, you're going to pay like $50-$60 for the meal, but it's all you can eat. So the thing about getting really high and going to these things is at least you're going to eat. I definitely ate I probably ate $100 worth of meat. So we did it the right way. We ate the correct amount. And also when you go to these places, like, I don't even want to drink. I just want a water and all of the food. So I just had to tell that story. I'm so glad I got reminded about that. That is so funny to me. All right, guys. Well, I hope you guys got to enjoy your 420. Listen to Free My Mind, my new song. I'm going to put this outro music. I don't know. Have some fun, guys. Find some things to do during this time off. I am gonna be live tomorrow for happy hour. I should have mentioned that I am gonna do a music video premiere Wednesday night. So I'll be posting more about that, but I think I'm gonna premiere a music video tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, I think. It'll be on our YouTube channel. I'll post more about it. Yeah, this was another fun episode, fun way to start the morning. In all honesty, I didn't completely feel like doing an episode this morning. I was just kind of blah, blah, and you know what? You just got to make yourself do shit sometimes, and I'm happy I did. I want to say thank you to everybody on the IG Live who tuned in. Thank you to everybody who comments. Thank you to anybody who always tunes in, anybody who listens to my music. I appreciate all of you. Stay quarantined. I don't know. Enjoy your quarantine. Be safe. Stay healthy. Shout out to you. One love. Appreciate you guys.